Welcome to Seeing Scarlet and happy Halloween. I am dressed like a giraffe and Sibby is lame and is not in a costume.
Okay, hold up,
Promises
wait.
me she will be.
I'm just saying, like, I think you need to understand it's a little scary. It's a little spooky.
Your
And
costume is spooky? Oh, okay.
It's a little spooky. Are you prepared for some spooks?
Is it Madison White?
I wish. I couldn't pull that costume off. But like look at this. I can't hear you, so be careful.
Oh no. 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 Abort. Abort.
Wait.
No.
Wait. Wait, can I do the whole thing like this?
I can sure.
It's so hot. It's so hot behind this mask.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay,
I don't know if I
I'm
can take you
taking it-
seriously.
I'm
but
taking it off now.
Then again, I'm in a giraffe onesie, so what can I say?
All right. Wow, I can breathe. You know, when people were complaining about masks and breathing behind them, they meant when they were wearing this thing.
Yeah, that was concerning. So yeah, we'll just, I guess,
we'll just never talk about that again.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. But y'all,
Sorry.
it's been a week. We were
It
talking
has
about this
been.
before. It's been a whirlwind of a week for all of us, but for me, and I can't even imagine all the things that have happened. Y'all, we talked about it. I was in a wreck. I got to go to the World Series last week.
Dude, you've
got to
been
catch a Texas soccer game in person last week. I was in Texas, got to see the FAM impromptu trip. It was a great week. We're going to talk about sports. Seeing Scarlet was in the house for the World Series Game 1. Got our boy Josh Young a walk-off dub. They're currently up 10-0 in Game 4. So hopefully we can lock that in and have a 3-1 lead heading in tomorrow night. But big things, we have a World Series champion on our hands as a Red Raider soon. We already have a Big 12 champion on our hands with Texas Tech soccer, now up to number 4 in the nation. You brag to your flipping coworkers tomorrow. If you're not going into work being like, "Is your team in the top 4?" I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Top 4.
Like that is insane.
Like, when are we ever?
When has Texas Tech ever been that high?
Like this is some ground. Like this, we've talked about it. This is history. They're making history.
Track's been up there.
Track's been up there. Baseball's been up. Have they been?
Yeah, baseball has been top 5 at some point in the year. Maybe preseason top 5. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the football team after Crabtree won that game. If maybe they snuck into the top 5, then they immediately lost and they dropped down. But anyway, it's rare territory. It's fun territory, and if they stay there, they're a top 4 seed in the tournament, which would be wild stuff. God. They would get to host in Lubbock all the way until the Final Four if they kept winning. So.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about Josh Young, who you're talking about with the Texas Rangers, seeing like Texas Tech athletics showing out. Like we got Patrick Mahomes, we got Josh Young, we got Kirsten Davis, we got
Becky,
Becky, we got Bree Scott. Like how much time?
I'm
sorry, I had to throw her in there. You know.
I'm waiting. Bree, if you're listening, I'm ready for that jersey. I bought one. I'm ready for it to come.
You know what, Shelby? Let's go to Spain and get it ourselves.
Trip. Let's go.
And then hang out with Bree. All right, Bree. Hola, and let us stay on your couch. Yeah, but I think it's a really fun fall right now, in a lot of different ways, and especially with soccer, but also with the World Series. And Josh Young, shout out, just like do that. He's like hitting home runs. He's getting on base. He's scoring. He's just doing it all, and all on this very spooky night that we get to share with everybody, which Shelby, the giraffe looks great.
Thanks.
I'm so sorry.
Jamar, our friend from the Daily Torador, who ran a great story on Seeing Scarlet, just retweeted our live and said costumes on 2 opposite sides of the spooky spectrum.
Completely fact. That is a true statement. There
we go. Ryan, thanks for the stats. Yeah, that's what I thought, that we jumped up really high after the Crabtree catch. After we beat Texas, and then we got demolished by OU. But we won't talk about that. And Landon, bet your giraffe I am. LOL. Yeah, that's me.
She's a funny gal. Y'all,
I'm a funny gal.
If you haven't, I know we talk about this all the time. Go follow Twitter, X. Go follow Instagram. we're just gonna yell letters at each other now. But Shelby just dropped the best costume collection of our soccer team.
You helped out with that. I did it on the plane trip over back.
I know from all of your in-person events, but it's very cool for this spooky season. And we have good news with soccer. So do we want to hop into the Big 12 champs who have returned to Lubbock with the regular season champion trophy? First, dude, let's talk about Big 12 conference awards came out. So the best of the Big 12.
Swept that.
It's like Texas Tech, you see that double T everywhere. You're like, wow, this has got to be copyright infringement or something. No, it's just
who did we pay off?
It's
nobody.
All the best. So goalkeeper of the year of the Big 12, who other but Madison White.
If they didn't give her goalkeeper of the year, I was gonna personally drive to Kansas City. Is that where the offices are? I don't know. I was gonna drive there and say some things. That's all I have for you. I don't want to get arrested.
Scarlet After Dark. See Scarlet After Dark.
Talk to me after.
So Madison White, goalkeeper of the year. No surprises there. No surprises here with Hannah Anderson, defensive player of the year. Absolutely earned. Cool. We are so protected by Madison White and Hannah Anderson in that back line, and the whole conference recognizes that. That's why they're the best. Then we get to our freshman of the year, Sam Courtwright.
We get 3 more years, maybe. I don't know. She might go pro, but we got years ahead of her with her at least. That's crazy.
Oh, dude, no matter where she goes, I'm going to rep it. We're going to rep it.
She's Rubber.
We're just going to be really broke with this whole team because, she not only freshman of the year, but she was also Big 12 all freshman team, which again makes sense. She's the best doing what she's doing right now. So that's really exciting. And then Tom Stone, coach of the year. We have talked about Tom Stone. I think we got a little bit more in depth with him in the past 2 games that he's had where we've gotten to hear him, whether we liked it or not. We can usually hear Tom Stone and how important his leadership has been on and off the pitch. And it's really exciting to see him being recognized for his work, even though he probably hates it. He's probably like,
the video.
Nobody look at me. On to the next.
Proud of it, but his video when they announced it, they did
we're proud of you, Tom.
Team, and they were announcing all the different ones, and he didn't say his, and then I think Madison was like, "What? You forgot one, coach. You forgot one, coach." And he wasn't even going to say it, and then he said it's a team award and it's a coaching staff award, which is all true, and he couldn't do it alone, but. We talked about it last week. We told the history. The man has been here for a long time, and he's done this for a long time, and he's picked this program out of. They hadn't been to the Big 12 tournament even. You couldn't even qualify for the Big 12 tournament since 1999 when he took over in 2007, and he took them there the first year. The first year he came here, and he's built. I mean, we made it to the Sweet 16 before.
Mm-hmm.
We've been down a couple of years. We get it. But I think in his post-game speech to the players after winning the Big 12 in Ames, he said something like, y'all got the standard back to where it should be to the players.
Ooh.
And that says everything. He leads the charge, but it's definitely these seniors and these players buying in. So you love to see it. And they're continuing to do that here in the postseason. So
that is so hype. Yeah. Huge recognition for Tom and well-deserved with what you've been talking about of where this program has been and where we are smashing records left and right this season. It is going to be so cool to look back on it, but we're looking to the future with a more recognition of our all Big 12 first team. So we talked about Sam. She was recognized for that. And so was Hannah, Madison White, Ashley Williams, and Macy Blackburn.
Well,
the best.
I was afraid that maybe the coaches wouldn't give it. I think the coaches vote on it. Wouldn't give it to her. She didn't play 3 games, but I mean, it's you can't ignore how good she was. So well deserved for Macy.
Proof was the whole season, right? Like her resume was already so stacked that, she being recognized for this was a no-brainer for us, and I'm glad that they recognized that too, and that other coaches were recognizing how powerful Macy Blackburn is and how powerful she's going to come back to be in her comeback season.
Oh yeah,
Part 2.
She's coming.
We're already on the comeback.
Yeah,
and then all Big 12 second team, Alex Kerr. Alex Kerr has been the such a huge component for our scoring.
Did you say Ashley Williams on the first team?
Ashley Williams first team, Alex Kerr on second team.
Beautiful. Love it.
Did I mix that up? Probably.
I just didn't know if you said her. I might have missed it. Just wanted to make sure she got her shine. Otherwise, Kerr's probably on the first team. They're just on the same team. They can't steal all the awards, you know.
That's what it feels like. It's like they're both in that that same frame, in that same structure. But so Alex Kerr being that huge transfer from the school that she was at previously. They're not
Vanderbilt.
I'm not even gonna say them anymore. Like, she's a Red Raider now. Yeah. You thought I didn't remember. Anyway, we appreciate the city of Nashville for Alex to be on this team and to have such a really, really great season. It's been cool to learn about her and her dad and her connection to Tom, and then Tom's history. And it's information that we would probably have never have known if it weren't for Alex Kerr. So Alex, thanks for being a catalyst to a really fun story of
we love sports stories.
Your success. We like sports.
We love stories.
I want it to be like a PBS commercial. Like sing, give me a beat. Like, we love sports stories.
Da, 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 da. I don't know.
Nice. That's gonna be our intro forever. Sorry.
I'm sorry, my voice is still cracking. I didn't have a voice for 3 days after the World Series, but it finally came back yesterday.
You are like, girl.
But it still cracks every once in a while.
You know what you are right now? You're the car that has the emergency, like something's wrong with your engine light on, and
low
you're just like,
alert.
Hey, I'm just going to the grocery store and back, or like, hey, I'm just going to work, and then a quick trip down the road. And it's like, hey, Shelby,
maybe take a nap. I did just take a nap, y'all.
Yes.
But to get back on track, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Also, we had, speaking of we have freshman team. Obviously Sam made it. Knew that was gonna happen. Great for Chloe Soto. Well deserved. I just didn't know how many other freshmen were doing things in the Big 12 this year, but she's been a mainstay in that lineup, if you will, the coming off the bench all year and playing big minutes. And she did that on Monday. Mm-hmm. She'll definitely be expected to do that tomorrow for the game against Texas in the semifinals. She's at this point in the year, are they even freshmen anymore? You know what I mean? They played so many games. They're basically sophomores at this point, but she's going to be a great one for many years to come.
Yeah, really cool to see that recognition. And knowing what Tom has called them to be, these game changers that come off the bench and completely change the game. And Shelby, you and I like talk about it, obviously, when they're playing and texting each other, and we're like, maybe a little energy boost here, or like, a transition into that field. And Chloe Soto's the one that's been doing it in a lot of different ways and contributing to the team. So cool to see her recognized for Big 12 all freshman team. So future's bright for this program. Let's get into this match. We are the number 1 seed in the Big 12 tournament. So that means we had a bye. We didn't play until the quarterfinals. So we had our game against Cincinnati, and we ended up winning 2-1, and we cannot wait to tell y'all everything that happened to get to that score. But Shelby, girl, you were there because you were everywhere somehow. Are you?
I was all over the place.
How many Shelbys are there?
I tried. When I get to Texas, I'm always bopping around. People were asking me on Twitter, like, where are you going to be? I was like, I don't know.
Dude, that's so
I'll be here and here, everywhere else in between. But you got to fit it in. So it was really cool. When I was like, I can probably make this, since they're in Austin, I can fly out of Austin. I was excited, made it work. It was very tight, but the weather worked out sort of. It was really cold, but the weather was better than expected. First half especially, it wasn't that bad in the first half, and then it started raining and the wind started blowing, and the second half was miserable. But the game, it was fun to be there, see them do what they do in person. Obviously, I know they're a good soccer team. I watch them every week, twice a week. But when you watch them in person, you can see like the communication stuff, all the stuff that I try to pick up on while we're watching, and I talk about in these episodes. You can see it more in person. So. I love that's the stuff that I picked up on the most, even more. Like, just you can see that more, the leadership and the talking on this team, and they're so calm in all these moments that most people would be freaking out. They're just chill. Like we'll talk about the save in a minute, but the first save that Hannah made, just gliding through the air and like it's nothing, and we were standing right down there on that line. Like, we're right by it. So it's just
cool.
insane. They're just also calm. And yeah, I was impressed. I thought pregame, the hype from the bench was awesome. Like, in those kind of games, you got to create your own energy. And I think they really helped them start fast in that way. And we scored 13 minutes in, as we'll get into. And then I think maybe we just got a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
Let off the gas a little bit. And Cincinnati's a good team.
Yes.
They've pushed all the best teams in the Big 12. They've tied a lot of them. They're defensively really good. I can't remember her name, but their center back was the defensive player of the year in the American Conference for 3 years in a row before they came to 12. She's like 5'11". She's a menace back there. And so, yeah, they just play a tough brand and in a tough environment and tough weather. Like, it suited them well. Yeah. And they played well. But we had our moments, not our best game, but we do. That's why we're good. We always know.
That's right.
In person, even though my fingers or my fingies, as I said on Twitter and Instagram, were gone because I had the gloves off to tweet into IG. But it was cool to see them in person. I'm hoping to make it down to Lubbock for the tournament. Hopefully a long tournament stay.
Let's go, Shelby, to Lubbock. It'll be nutso potato.
It's been a bit.
And we're here for it. Yeah, that's really. I'm really happy that you got to go. And you talking about the component of that communication where you don't get that by watching it, or not as well. Yeah, that was one of the first things that I noticed when we were like in the even preseason. It was very obvious how that has been something they have intentionally worked on so much that that's why they're good.
And
so
I remember
good.
And because you would say like, man, their communication's just not there.
Yeah,
it's not there.
We haven't figured it out yet.
Like, I can't tell that on TV. I'm like, oh, okay, they look good to me. And you say that, and I'm like, I'll just trust you. You're there.
They need to talk
but they definitely have worked on it. And
it's so
there was a specific moment where we had a sub in Leipel.
Kate Leibel?
Yes, Kate Leibel. Shout out, freshman. She came in late in the first half to get some run, and she did pretty well, but you can hear Madison, like, there's a moment where she's not pressing up on her defender enough, and Madison's like, Kate, get up there, and she, like, gets up there, and, like, that's the stuff where it seems simple, but that's the stuff you need, and that's how this team is so good on defense, is they listen to each other, and they keep each other where they need to be. Yeah. So I loved it. It was cool. But yeah, if you have any other thoughts, then we can roll into the clips.
No, yeah, I think you're totally right. I keep hearing those little like bells, and I'm like, the Rangers probably just scored 5
people are
more.
My grandma's texting me, so I'm gonna turn it on.
What did grandma say? What did grandma say?
She's just so hype. That's who I took to the World Series, y'all. Like,
I know, so cute.
Sidebar is my grandma's a huge cool. Rangers fan. Watches every game, every night. Texts me about every game, every night. And I was able to take her to the World Series back in 2010, and they won that game, but they didn't win the World Series. And so when they made it again this year, I was like,
redemption.
This is what savings are for.
That's right.
So the family went in on it too, and we were able to get her there. So it was quite the game, y'all.
That is really cool.
Got to go to on Friday night. But anyway, continue.
I'm glad that they're
Do Not Disturb is on. So
no, I like hearing the bells. They're fun. It's like when we talked about victory bells all the time when we talk about this team, because y'all, Texas Tech soccer is still undefeated, and we're gonna hop into it. Our 2-1 victory over Cincinnati, and we're gonna talk about this player now and for the rest of this episode probably. And this first clip you got, Shelby, with Giselle Kazarski. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this clip.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
I'll click the wrong one. Okay. Yeah. So we were kind of texting during the game, and I'm sure, listen, coaches can whatever. I'm sure she has things to get better on, like all the players do in this game. But I thought she was great all the game. This was before the goal. I was like, man, G's out here working today. Yep. She looked fresh. She was making plays all over. And this is just one. I went and rewatched the game. I had a terrible flight experience last night, so I ended up stranded in Atlanta. And so I was waiting on food. I was like, I'll just rewatch the game and get the clip. So I grabbed this clip from it. It's just her doing a little dipsy-do moment, as I've brought over from basketball to the soccer world, on a player. And again, talk about the bench. The bench was so hype on everything we did. They get so hype.
Grab a 1 seed on the other side. Cincinnati, a team that pretty much needs to win this tournament to reach the end.
Not really an important moment in the game. Nothing happened after this that was groundbreaking. But
honestly, that could have been
just G doing what she does.
That could have been like the spark, honestly, because like what we're gonna talk about here in a minute is like
this was right before we scored.
I know it's
34 minutes into the it's 30. Yeah, so this is a couple of minutes before we scored our goal.
And think about
the juices flowing a little bit.
Yeah, think about like the energy that's like now shifting onto the team after hearing that bench be like, oh, like hit up that volume again, Shelby. I don't know if you can
to win this tournament.
Let's run it back one more time.
On the other side, Cincinnati, a team that pretty much needs to win this tournament to reach the end.
The bench was so hyped all game. I love this team. This team is so locked in. They're so bought in. There's nobody that's like, I should be out there and playing. I mean, they're all competitors. You're probably thinking that, but they're not saying that, and they're not soaking. They're just out there vibing. They're like, that's my teammate. Made her look silly.
And she off.
No.
She's gone.
To grab a 1 seed on the other side, Cincinnati.
Anyway, so that was just a random one.
Oh my
and
God,
the coaches were getting hype. There might be a clip of it on, I think, on the Kozarski winner. You'll see it at the end. The coaches are like jumping into each other's arms. I think on the Hannah goal that we'll get to now, unless you have something else to say before then.
No.
The assistant coach, it might be the Nick guy, I'm not sure, does the gritty.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's in this clip. It's someone said on Twitter that it was Tom. It was if Tom did the gritty, the internet would have broke.
Yeah, we wouldn't have a show.
But it was one of the assistant coaches. So yeah, this happened, and then just a few moments later,
oh my gosh,
Sam Courtright, the freshman, does what she does. I think I have it in here to get the foul.
And some of the top teams in the done
well
against some of the top teams in the conference,
which is fair, but that's
a very similar situation to
that's a dangerous place for Red Raiders to be. That like
last time when we were in Austin, Sam got the foul a little farther back, but still outside the box. This time though, it's her now taking the.
Oh my gosh!
And Lori,
and we're on the same.
Been good, but Sam is she's getting great. I'm terrified. Like
we said, let her cook, and she said, "How high?"
This
and we're
ball.
Like, wait.
I mean, you'll see it, guys, but Hannah can finish bad ones, right?
Yeah,
okay ones. I think I could have headed this into the goal. It's that good of a ball in. It's that good. So just watch this. It's just perfectly placed. And again, context, it's against that defender I'm talking about. Hannah's usually taller than everybody she's playing against. Hannah's 5'10". This girl that's marking her is 5'11", 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the American before coming over to the Big 12. Yep. Easily handles her.
On Saturday, up with UCLA transfer and Jillian Martinez over to the right.
That was a little fake out.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't think anyone bought the fake out, but we love it.
Looks like Sam
setting it up for later on film. Just, I mean, perfect.
Oh my. And then she stands still.
13 minutes in, the Red Raiders
that's
lead.
Ironically exactly what I was doing in the concourse. I love that they were playing the fight song after.
I know, I heard that. That's awesome.
I don't know if it's because we were the home team or if they're doing that for everybody.
This just is her pitch, isn't it? Hannah Anderson
this commentator was awesome.
She was great. Former UCLA player, apparently.
She was so good.
Kind of
so Sam Courtright was the perfect search ball. The goalie is caught looking.
Vertical ball, and all she did was poke it with her head.
I mean,
past the
because those are goals that like Sam could make on her own.
That's true, and I'm sure those times are coming. But when you have Hannah Anderson roaming around out there, that's probably your best bet. But there's gonna be times you can fake that, and she can just take it. Whew.
Yes, right. That is such a great thing to have in our
while we're talking, but
in our arsenal. But like, I remember when we were talking about Hannah, and I don't remember what game we were playing, but somebody said when we were taking a PK or a corner, and they're like, they need to mark up Hannah Anderson, and they're gonna do that. And
OU,
it was OU, and it's like.
They did not. I mean, they tried.
They didn't. I mean, like, yeah. And if they try, it's like she is so successful in those situations and so clutch. It's almost like when you see that foul happen and it's Sam Courtright. And you see that she's taking the kick and you're like, this is looking good. And it's almost like a feeling. And it's because Hannah. I saw the gritty. Okay.
Ryan just asked. I don't know for sure. I think this is the Nick. Is this the Nick Hallam guy? I'm not sure.
No, I think it's one of the manager. I think
it might be the athlete trainer. I'm not sure. It's one of their assistant coaches. It's not Tom Stone.
Yes, I recognize because he wears the same boot sock get up as Blair.
We have a great staff on this team of a lot of like.
Oh my gosh, but that's
just
not
know how to.
That's not Tom.
Oh, it's not Tom. No, Ryan, but it is definitely one of our coaches or assistant staff.
I think it's one of our staff. But yeah, again, perfect chip by Sam Courtright and Hannah being there to just catch that goalie completely out of position, thinking like, yeah, it could go in here, bottom 90, and then her standing still, like, all right,
did it again. Like she just owns that stadium.
She
build a statue. Gets to play there again tomorrow. If she gets a goal tomorrow, they got to just change the flipping name to Hannah Anderson Stadium. Sorry, Mike Myers, out of here. Yeah, Hannah Anderson is now the namesake if she scores tomorrow. I'm just saying.
I am completely with you. So yeah, we're as you can tell by the score, still 0-0. Seeing how that play unfolded and seeing what players are stepping up. But Cincinnati, I think by the time you're playing this clip with Alex Kerr, has scored on us.
This is
still pretty early.
This is minute by Hannah.
God, my mouse is not working. This is just something in the first half. Another chance. We had a lot of chances there.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were really knocking right after that goal.
And
we just weren't quite as aggressive as we needed to be in the box. And you'll see this like on the back half of it. I think it's G on the end of it. And there was another clip right before this where G had a great crossover to Ashley and she couldn't get it right. The timing was just off. So anyway, but I just thought I'd highlight this because Alex was cooking people all day again.
Yeah.
Texas Tech with a goal in the 13th minute by Hannah Anderson.
Let me
numbers
forward. Excuse me. Look at that.
And those
and G just couldn't get her foot on it, but
from Kerr,
could have been a goal right there.
From Chapel Hill.
And those are things that she does. Like there's a reason why you pick this out as a clip. This is Alex Kerr. We know this is her game. She's able to bring in those defenders and get through them if it's by doing a cheeky play. If it's by doing something cheeky, or if it's being fast or being powerful, she is so versatile in how she attacks, how she passes it for assists, like she was trying to do here, like you were talking about, trying to make that connection to Jill.
Falls over and laugh, but I'm laughing. Falls to the ground. Literally breaks this poor girl's ankles. That is not the defender of the year. The girl is the defender of the year is who she meets right here that kind of stops the play, but and then she almost scores. She gets the rebound and still almost gets it across. So there was just some timing stuff that was a little bit off, but it was great. There's a lot of plays like this in the first half, and I just felt like she deserved her shine as always. This is why she's an all Big 12 performer.
Yeah, and I love seeing Ashley too. Like
she was ready.
She's ready too. Like if it goes through Joe, or if Joe wants to do a cheeky play through that, like Ashley's there too. I'm excited for the next Alex Kerr goal. I think that's going to be a really, that's going to be a really impactful goal. Yes, let's get it tomorrow. Okay.
All right. But speaking of not allowing goals, the goalkeeper of the year was on one today.
The best of the
Big 12, this is why we're so good, right? Like people ask, like, how do we keep winning? We have people scoring. We have Sam Courtright doing what she does, all the things, but
have you heard of our entire roster?
I mean, Madison just, when we make mistakes, because we play so dangerously in a way.
Oh my gosh.
And they talk that broadcaster you're talking about, this lady was brilliant. And finally, the first one all year to really explain what we do as a formation. Good. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Finally, someone gets it. Who? And it's because she played in the same system at UCLA. But we do play dangerously the way we play. We push so many people up. So Madison is put in a lot of tough positions, and you can really only do that with a keeper of her caliber because she does ish like this. This is in the first half. This is what I was talking about. She just floats.
Left foot shot by Smith creates a tough, juicy rebound.
And then the fact that it didn't even get a corner out of that was
our goalkeeper of the year in Madison White.
She makes it look so easy. Like it's like, oh, that's not even like teammates are like, oh, cool. That's just what she does.
And not only that, but that she's not expecting necessarily that player's going to strike from that distance in that congestion. Like you can see a lot of white jerseys are Red Raiders that are surrounding this player, and to try and send it Madison White. This is I think the core of why she's so brilliant is she stays ready. There's never a time where she's not completely locked in and engaged in moments that matter like this. And so I appreciated that. That's a save that Madison White makes. And it's rare that the ball goes past her, and that's shown in so many stats, recognitions, you name it. But yes, this is a great clip showcasing just.
And it's not even the best one from she has 2 more saves from this game.
We're not done.
And it's just absurd. She's so athletic is really, I mean, she stays ready for sure.
Yeah.
She's also just
driven.
I have not watched a game this year of any other team that has a more athletic goalkeeper than Madison White. I'll say that. I haven't watched every team play, but she listen to our interview. She could have been a high jumper at Texas Tech. She just chose not to do both, but she could have been a high jumper on one of the best track teams in the country, and she shows that every game. Her leaping ability is insane. She's so long. She can hop.
Got bunnies.
It's unfair, really. It's unfair. All right, next was another almost chance in the first half
Oh,
where Hannah, I just wanted to highlight this because Hannah was dishing dimes all game from the back line, and this is another one. Look at that.
Oh, such a good ball.
And Z just gets tackled, but they call her offsides.
Reminder, we do have VAR.
Reminder, I did not know that until listening to that, and I was like terrified for tomorrow now. But anyway.
Same. Oh, I'm so glad we share feelings.
It's overruled as the offside flag is up. So a swing of emotions here is Servando Berna points.
Does this clip show the slow motion of it?
It does. I mean, she's falling, so but that's not when the ball is struck, I don't think.
Well, yeah,
See, the ball's already there. So like, I want to see the view, when it's struck, but
the runner
nonetheless,
was just
it was close. I wish that the ref just let it go. In that instance, let it go to VAR. If you have it and you're unsure, let it go.
But I mean, I don't
like she looks on sides from that angle.
I don't think she would have made that connection anyway.
Well, no, but the PK would have stood.
That's true. I mean,
the connection wouldn't have had it, but we got a PK because they tackled her.
It was very clearly like Cincinnati, like, we're in trouble.
It was a bad play by them. They should not have tackled her because they would have been okay, but they panicked.
Yeah, they were in trouble.
Anyway, I just want to highlight that that's one of many. There was a bunch of other even better balls from Hannah, and we talked about that. She's been more aggressive in that way in recent games. And it does open us up the counterattacks, which I don't have the clip of, but that is how Cincinnati scores. Is I think Hannah's pushing up, they steal it from her at the midfield, and then there's no one else there. And so it's a one-on-one attack with Madison. And when you watch it, I finally got to watch the replay because I was confused live how they scored because Madison got her hands on it, like a pretty well block. But when you watch the replay, Hannah's already is pushed up pretty well, like at the top of the box, because she's getting in the position she's supposed to be in for when the ball's at the midfield. When they steal it in that instance, she's backpedaling as this girl's coming at her. So she doesn't get the normal height that Madison can get when blocking a shot. So she blocks it lower than she normally would. And so the ball goes up, but it doesn't go up as high as it normally would. And it just doesn't get over. And she's so far away from the net that maybe the wind knocked it down. I don't know. But she did block it. It was just a little bit unlucky on that end. Was not unlucky at the midfield. We got to clean that up. We can't be that reckless when you know there's no one else there. But the team knows that. It's fine. I think we just got a little bit lackadaisical, maybe like thinking this was over. And it's a good lesson learned.
And honestly, I mean, I was too, because I was trying to watch from how high are you in the airplane? Like 14,000 feet? Is that right?
I don't
what
know.
They say? Anyway, I was like trying to watch the game from in an airplane, and once they got up 1-0, I was like,
well,
cool.
We're good.
I can relax. I was like, oh shit! Like
it was so
Sydney,
early.
bad,
Though. I think us scoring that early, like we weren't like. Well, we were like, oh, we're good, and we played pretty well after that for a while, and then you got in the second half, and it was just like we were just like trying to not lose for a bit there, and we play so much better when we're just playing to win. So but that's how we play, and we've talked about it. Like live on the edge. You're gonna do that. That's the best. We're not trying to just have a season, right? They're trying to win championships, what they've done, and living on the edge that way, pushing people up, and being susceptible to counters is how you're gonna do that with this team, and that's just sometimes that's gonna happen. And and Madison dang near bailed them out again. So you'll take that, right?
Madison White, dude. Like, you know those like billboards that are, like for attorneys and stuff, and it's like, if you're in an accident, call. Like, Madison White needs to be on billboards of like, if you're in trouble, call her. If you need something saved,
if you need a save,
Madison White can do that probably. I don't know what that is, but she can do it.
Speaking of which,
let's hit it, dude.
Holy save of the season. Why? How do we say that every episode? Oh my God, Madison White has the save of the season. It's like scheduled tweet. What?
People are on to us, Shelby. Don't tell them our secrets. We just scheduled tweets every time after they play, and we say Madison White did it again.
Like, legitimately, you could schedule that for like 3/4 away in the game. Like, Madison White is a god, and you could schedule tweet that for every game day and be perfectly fine.
It's so funny.
Wants to take a shot.
Like, what is that?
That one had intentions for the back of the net. And the goalkeeper of the year.
She dives, and then she's like, "Oh shoot, I didn't. Oh, let me stick my hand up even higher." Midway.
Some beautiful play up the side here from Cincinnati, and then a nice rip to that back post, and that definitely looked like it was going in
that's
from
in if you're not Madison White.
Madison White stretched enough.
I would love to know Madison White's wingspan. It's got to be
wants to take a shot. Oh, what a save!
So long.
I want to know if Madison White has been bitten by a spider.
Honestly, questions that need to be asked.
In a comic book
national security concerns, not for us, but for everyone else.
Amazing. And if you all are just listening to this and you're not able to watch this clip, Cincinnati has a beautiful shot in the box, and I want to make note too, this is the end of the game. We have 6 minutes left.
1-1.
We're tied 1-1, and
I would have won them the game because they just would have had like everybody back through it.
Oh yeah, you would have had would it have challenged us mentally completely differently? Sure, and we'll never know what could have happened. But the reason why we don't have to worry about that is because of Madison White, because of her making that. She is stretched out, and Shelby, you're so right. Somehow she extends 1, 2, 3, 4 inches more to make that difference. And I don't know what else to say other than we need to start scheduling a tweet every time Madison White plays and says Madison White is a god.
Scheduled tweet, scheduled zeet.
That is so funny, dude. A zeet?
That's what I call it for fun, because it's now X instead of Twitter. But add the X, take out the T. It's zeet.
Oh, I like it.
Yo, making a shot.
Patent it. Hey, nobody steals Shelby's idea because she'll be really mean to you. Speaking of being really mean, we have another?
One more, actually, there's another save that happened milliseconds after this save. It wasn't quite. I don't even know if it counts as a save, but she cleared the ball. And Madison, she's just over it. She's like, "Get that ish out of here." It's to me like a basketball moment.
So is this from
swatted a shot?
Is this from the corner? Oh shoot! Okay, so
the corner's like they tried to play it up to the top or something. I don't remember. Anyway, the ball ends up at the top, and she
took that shot.
So we get it cleared.
It's in the knuckleball corner.
Kylie does that.
Aaron got a head on it,
and then this floats in. And Madison's like, "Oh hell no, not on my watch."
Yes,
just murders that girl to the ground.
You are correct, Shelby. Yes.
Over it. Get this ish out of here.
She double fist punches this ball out, and she knows that Cincinnati player is there contesting that ball in the air, which was a really great ball from Cincinnati. And you're totally right. She's like,
I am done.
Get this
we are
out.
Done with this.
And she had to stay on her feet too, so that she could get back for any rebound, which Cincinnati did have a rebound off of that punch out. And so that shows a whole other layer of like how that was a top priority for Madison White, is like, we need to get this out of here. Let's get some offense going. We need a goal. And sure enough, that's what we got.
We did get a goal. So Madison White is a god ×3 in this one.
Yes.
And then Sam Courtright, who was brilliant all game, let it be known. I mean, blessed.
Yeah.
She starts this play, does what she does, gets it over.
Yes.
This is Sam in the middle here.
Left.
Beautiful ball over in space. Just great.
On this field,
Kazarski.
Texas Tech.
Oh,
the
Giselle.
90th minute winner already. And there it is. It's Kazarski off balance in the box. In the 90th.
I mean,
it is spooky season because I have passed away watching this replay, Shelby. You're talking to a ghost. And I love that you pointed out Sam, because I just noticed a whole other layer to this cadence that got Giselle Kazarski the goal, the game winner, as we slowly approach the end of regulation. This is like within a minute. I think
it's technically the 89th minute, or whatever, the 88th minute. Because it was 3 seconds before the last minute of the game. So we would have had 2 89-minute goals in Austin, but technically this was at 1:02 when it goes in the goal.
Oh, okay. Well, how dare they? But wow, because Sam makes a really great move initially to get past the defender and to have that perfect ball to Giselle, like able to project where she's going to be, but knowing that that's really close to the defender, for Sam to trust, like, G's got this. And G having this shake and bake a little bit, like, testing this really tough defense for the Red Raiders this match, and to sail that ball into the back of the net like she did off her left foot.
Yeah, because Tom says after the game, he was like yelling at her in this moment, get it to your right foot, get it to your right foot. And she's like, nah, coach, I got this. Left. Boom.
I am obsessed with this whole story. This is amazing.
Look at the coaches. They're so hype after this. I love how hype the sidelines are. Look,
Tom gets a hug.
This guy, I don't know who this is. I need to know who you are. He's so hype. He is me during the games.
Yeah.
That was me on the sideline. I was kind of like directly.
I'm so glad you got to see
on that
it.
shot, and it was. I'm kind of hoping the video team. I don't remember if I saw them down there. It was just the angle from behind Giselle on this. It just bends beautiful. You knew it was in as soon as she shot it.
Oh my god!
It just bent around. It was just.
It doesn't touch any. It doesn't touch a single thing but the net after it comes off her foot, y'all. It is.
I mean, Madison White probably would have found a way to save that some ungodly way, but no one else.
Okay, well, we know that,
you know
but
what I mean?
God
No one
we
else
don't have to play against her.
In practice is probably that's why she can make ish like that. She's been going against Madison White in practice.
Yo, iron sharpens iron, and whatever that quote is. But yeah, a beautiful ball from Giselle in a huge moment where we needed someone to step up and to have that game winner, and it ended up being the game winner, as y'all know. So time expired. We didn't have to play overtime because now we're in the time of the year where we do that, and if we remain tied, we do kicks from the mark. And soccer, if you think is stressful, just add a few more pounds to that stress, because we're just getting started.
I tend to think we would have won it in overtime anyway, because we were really these last 3 or 4 minutes after that sequence where Madison made those saves, we had a few chances. Like, that's true. Cincinnati was, I think, kind of after Madison just basically like stole their celebration.
She was the Grinch.
They really kind of their energy was, they've been running the way they were playing so aggressive all game, and credit to them. They were tired, and we were starting to really just start knocking finally. And there was actually a play before this from Sam, a beautiful ball, which I was like, shoot it, Sam, because she had a space to shoot it. But listen, Sam obviously knows more than me. She lofted a beautiful ball across the box over to Jill. Or no, it was Kazarski again, and she couldn't quite get her head on it. And so it was cool to get to see the same connection just a few moments later.
Wow. Yeah, they were feeding.
Had a second chance at it. Yeah, I don't know what the game plan was or why Kazarski was so involved offensively this game. Like, obviously she's a threat, but I think she has like 8 career goals in her. Yeah. And she's a senior, and this is one of them. And all of them, I feel like, have been absolute bangers, like dramatic ones. She's clutch.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I think a great way to describe how clutch she is. It's like what Tom Stone said in his press conference, or whatever is that what you call him after the game? That's a new
presser,
post-game presser. Those are new to me. If y'all ever watch a game and you want to like understand a different perspective, I highly suggest going to watch his post game. Yeah, and Shelby talked to me about this, and it's so cool to understand like their perspective. And what he said, he talked about we're in postseason. We need new heroes, new moments, new dramatics. Those were his words verbatim, and this is exactly what you said. Like, we needed the new heroes. Giselle, you were the hero of this game. She was earning these opportunities the entire game, like you said, and they kept feeding her. They're like, hey, strike the iron while it's hot. She's been cooking this whole game, and I'm so happy that she was able to capitalize on that and have this huge win where like every win is so deeply important. Ties can no longer serve us in a way that they did last season and before in regular season. So it was really, really cool to see her getting rewarded for the effort that she put in and being that new hero of the entire game and having the new moment and having the new dramatics. But I
thought that was a great quote.
We're so tired, y'all. Like, can we just do something? I don't whatever, keep doing you anyway. So
just them. They keep us on a roller coaster at this point, but they always find a way, and you just have to expect it at this point that they're going to find a way. And I just really did. I was freezing cold at this point. My hands were gone. It was raining pretty well, but I was just like, we're going to get this winner, because I was having to go to the airport, and my grandparents were dropping me off, and they didn't want to stay at the game because it was bad weather. And so they were doing whatever. Like, hey, you said 4:00. Are you ready? I was like, absolutely not. This game still has 20 minutes and it's tied. I think I can wait till 4:30. It's getting closer to 4:30. I'm like, oh, man, I got to stay. So I'm like, how can I stay for overtime? We'll be okay. So I'm just like ready. I'm like, I know we're going to get the winner, and I want to be here for it. I just knew it was coming. And because you just trust this team to find it. And they just don't quit, and that's going to serve them well in the postseason. So we could talk about that more, but I thought the closing thoughts on Cincinnati. I thought we did really well. Cincinnati's really well. What they're best at is set pieces. If you want to say we've struggled at anything this year, it's set pieces. I mean, it's just we've only allowed like 8 goals all year, and the majority have been off of that, but it's still not very many. So, but in the summary of where our goals have come, they have come off of set pieces, and that's what Cincinnati does well. And they had a few good ones, and we handled them all well. So I was proud of that, proud of our fight, and we're gonna need to show that fight going into Wednesday. So what do you got for a rematch with the Longhorns? A home game for them now. I'm hoping it won't be a home game. Austin area Red Raiders. I know it's in the middle of the afternoon. I know Mateo Nomeo, our boy Maddie, said he's going. So find him.
I love
y'all.
You,
show
Matt.
out. Get
Bring
there.
He
friends. Tried to get me to cause a scene on the plane so I could get off of it and stay in Austin.
Why didn't you?
I couldn't do it. We were already finally taken off.
Oh my God. That sounds like an excuse.
I tried, y'all. No. But he's gonna hold it down, and the rest of the Austin area be there, because it is an unfair advantage for them to get to play at home in the Big 12 tournament, where they know the field, they know everything. But we've shown we're pretty comfortable on this field.
History has shown that we do pretty well. So yeah, that's right. We play the University of Texas tomorrow. You had it for what time?
4:30 Central.
4:30 Central. So yeah, it's in Austin. We play Texas coming off a win. They just won against West Virginia. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. West Virginia. They won 3-1. Lexi Misimo, who we have talked about. And
just kidding.
I'll let you attack that at any other time. Anyway, Lexi showed up for the Longhorns, and if y'all listened to our preview when we played them in the regular season, she's on the list, y'all. So it'll be interesting to see what we do about her.
She was recently named the best player in the nation by
oh my God, dude,
Top Drawer Soccer.
Yeah, and like honestly, y'all, it's really cool to see that player in the state of Texas and doing what she's doing. So game recognizes game. I think another incentive to go to this game is to watch, honestly, a future professional player in some capacity. Lexi is doing some really cool work, but Red Raiders, we're looking to adjust and try to manage that as best we can. I think we're playing a very different University of Texas than we did in the regular season, knowing that they have their goalkeeper, Mia Justice, who's back. She left our left the match that we played them like 29 minutes in.
Which is like, it's to be known we were already up 1-0 then.
Correct.
So
we were able to score on her.
Fine, y'all.
Correct.
But
I'm just saying that, goalkeepers, we know how it's a different game.
She's an interesting keeper. She's either in fuego
or
in unstoppable
ice.
or a little bit in her head. So I think if you can score early like we did, she gets a little bit in her head. Yeah. Or even if we don't score, if we're just peppering her early and making her work, I think you can make her get a little bit flustered.
As we do.
So that'd be my thing with her, but she is a good keeper for sure.
She is. So we'll face her along with the entire UT team, obviously. And I think this is going to be a really great test for us too. Knowing postseason play, and we have our eyes on bigger goals here. Like, this is the Big 12 tournament. Yes, it's important, and it's very clear that this team is looking for NCAA tournament and advancement in that. So
the way we did subs in our game on Monday was pretty clear. We're still trying to get rest, which I respect. So
yeah. So that's gonna be. I'm really excited to watch them play. I don't even know if I wish I could be there, because I would be. That's so many emotions I can imagine, because we had such a emotional, dramatic hero moment the last time that we were there. I think this is going to be a really cool, again, rivalry. It's UT. It's all these
UT
things.
wants to come out and just murder us.
Revenge.
So I hope they're playing a little bit too hyped up, maybe.
Yeah, and
we can sneak past them, but it's going to be a good test, like you said. It's perfect. It's the perfect test as you head into the postseason. I wouldn't call it a fair test of the teams for both of us. We're both on 1 day's rest, so it is going to be a little bit of a battle of the benches. I think in some ways, I would say we probably have the better bench. I think Texas got to rest their players a little bit more than we did, just because they had a 3-0 lead in that game. And West Virginia scored sometime in the second half to make it 3-1. So their players may not have had to play full 90s like a lot of ours did. But we did do a pretty good job of getting some of them. I know Elise got a lot of rest in that second half. She came in at the 5-minute mark left in the second half, and then we scored moments later. But
Thanks,
Woodruff,
Elise.
Lauren Woodruff, freshman, who's
Lauren
freshman, got some good run in that game. So
big fan of Lauren.
She's kind of that next one up now at the outside back position when we need a sub. So she got some run. I'd expect Chloe to get some run. Peyton Parsons is basically playing starting minutes at this point. She's getting 20 minutes in the first half, 20 minutes, if not more, in the second half of every game, coming in and doing what she does. So those are kind of the stalwarts, and we could see maybe some others, who knows, but it'll definitely come down to conditioning. And we've said all year we have the best strength and conditioning staff, so they'll have them ready. But I'm not like putting too much stock into this game. Like, if we win it, like, I'm super impressed.
Sure.
But if we don't, it is what it is. But it's a good test. It's a good thing, and we're obviously capable of winning.
Oh, completely. Yeah, I love hearing about, like, you're talking about how deep our roster is and how these players are making an impact, and that's so cool to connect back to. That's exactly what they were saying. That's exactly what Madison, Hannah, and Kylie were saying.
They tried to warn us.
I know. In their interviews, every single one of them talked about how deep this roster is. And so you can say that, and when things are going great and perfect for our starting lineup, then we don't have to, worry about that. But now where we have adversity, right? Like, we're missing, Macy Blackburn, a huge component to this team.
How many teams can overcome a first team all Big 12? Frankly, not even, she would have been an All-American player going down and just keep on trucking.
She'd be, you know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to navigate that topic, because I don't like talking about like what could have been. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, it's just, it's a really cool thing to see. So yeah,
but that's sports. I mean, that's championship teams have to have that.
They do.
It's really rare you make it through a season perfectly healthy, especially in soccer, right?
I know.
Most teams you're playing right now have lost somebody. To be honest, not all at the caliber of we've lost Macy, but a lot of teams have lost people. So when you have a player like Elise that can just step in, that was a starter anyway at pretty much any other school, then it helps for sure. And it's good to see Lauren getting some minutes. She's going to be big for us moving in the future. Yeah. And she held her own out there. So I'm sure she'll get some minutes tomorrow too. I think Kylie played a full 90. So
let's go.
But Kylie is fresh Like she was great too. Shout out her. Had a lot of good moments.
Kylie was huge. Oh, really big.
She looked right at home in that weather, Colorado.
I know.
Girl.
She did. She was like, "This is perfect." So yeah, we'll play Texas again tomorrow, 4:30. And I'm already sweating thinking about it.
Yeah, it'll be hype. I'm just excited to see us do what we do. You know, it'll be fun. It'll be a good test. It's always fun to see a great offensive team go against our back line and get them ready and learn some things as we move forward. And it'd be really cool if we can get the win. And BYU takes care of. TCU got upset by UCF, so it'd be BYU and UCF on the other side. Mm-hmm. If it does end up being BYU versus Texas Tech, in a weird way, that could be a battle for a 1 seed in the tournament. Because right now we're the 4, but I don't know if the committee sees us as the 4. Other people are picking BYU as the 1 seed over us. So, but if we both make it there, I don't know. The committee is impossible to.
Oh, and that's what the commentator was talking about.
I've given up on it, to be frank.
Dude, the commentator was talking about. She said because the guy asked her like, "What do you think about the selection?" And she's like, "I tried, and to be honest, like you never know, and it's never correct what you predict it to be. So I've just stopped caring."
Amen. And I love this person even more now.
I know, and I was like, I have to tell Shelby because I think that this has been
the way that they've treated the Big 12 in the last 5 years, especially with like so much disrespect. It's hard to know. Like, they've been ranking us high all year. When it comes to committee time, are they gonna be like, okay, but you're the Big 12. Okay, you're a 3 seed. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, it really wouldn't. So, we should, no matter what, be a 2 seed, even if we don't win tomorrow. In my opinion, we've earned that right. Big conference tournament there shouldn't be too much stock into them because of the amount of days. You don't have 1 day of rest to play a game. Correct. That's not soccer, really. Like, that's the old school soccer where it used to be Friday, Sunday, and they got rid of that in the Big 12. But it won't be like that in the postseason. You'll have a full week of rest between games. So, yeah. So I think we're a 2 seed at minimum. But if you make it, you win the whole thing, you could be a 1 seed, which will be wild.
So hype.
That's really what they're playing for. Otherwise, there's not much to play for, if you want to be honest, except for just to get experience and let the team, they just want to keep playing together and for funsies.
That's right. Yeah.
Just want another trophy, though. I'm always down.
I love it. I love hearing, the possibilities with the team because they have shown what is possible, and that's record-breaking things. It's really important chapters of this program, and I'm really excited that we're along for the ride. So everybody else, get on it too, or don't. And miss out on the fun. But soccer is soccer, and I don't think I have anything else to say.
Yeah, we'll be back next week, hopefully. Yeah, next week will be a fun episode because it'll be the day after the selection show, so we will know who we're playing. It will be in Lubbock. Again, make your plans accordingly. Next weekend, there will be a postseason game in Lubbock. We just don't know what day of the week it'll be until the 6th. On Monday when the selection show is. So we'll talk about that next week. Hopefully talk about 2 wins over Texas and BYU or UCF. We'll recap what happened in the Big 12 tournament, depending on what it is, and then move on to previewing who we're playing in the NCAA tournament. Y'all, it's right around the corner. We're here. November is here tomorrow.
Oh my gosh. Spooky. I feel so happy, and that feels sometimes kind of hard when you're a Red Raider. But I'm excited. Let's move on to volleyball. And volleyball, we had a tough 3-and-out punch from Cincinnati. And we'll talk about the sets here. And I think I talked about this last episode too, but I acknowledge like losing is tough, and our schedule is so tough too, and knowing the experience that we have on our team and trying to figure what works and how to organize this talent against a really difficult Big 12 conference. I am mostly looking forward to talking about like players improvements because these losses are just tough, and that's what we're getting with the season so far. And so I know that it's easy to tune out teams sometimes when they're losing, but
They're still working their little butts off, so they deserve our support for sure.
Yeah. And I'm excited to talk about where they have improved, which was shown in this first set. They looked really, really great. We had 17 kills. We were keeping our errors in check a little bit, but ended up losing at the end 25-27. And
it was a long set, as you can tell by the score. It had to go past the normal 25, and we had 4-point leads in that, and then those errors came into play, and it's just frustrating. So like we can't say anything more than the team is frustrated. That was a tough one, and I think this schedule's just getting to them. We played a lot of really good teams, and finally you get to play a team that you're like, okay, we should win this, and you drop that first set, and it just from there was tough to recover. I think mentally we were kind of unable to get ourselves together and come back from that disappointing first set loss, and we lost the match swept. So it was tough to watch, mostly not because like I just feel for them, you know, like I know they're putting the work, and it's just like, God, it's a great volleyball conference this year, and it doesn't get easier. As you said, they're back home in Lubbock now this weekend. And at first you were like, finally, 2 teams that aren't ranked. Well, Baylor has found their way into the top 25, y'all. So add it to the tally. Every single game we play is against a ranked opponent. And that is why it's been a tough year for them. But it's senior day. So you can get there. Football will have played on Thursday, as we'll talk about in a minute. Basketball doesn't start until a few days later, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's like exactly a week away from basketball. And then there's nothing going on, is what I'm saying. So if you have not been to a volleyball match this year, please go. This would be the time to go support these seniors. They're doing, look at their social media, the team's social media. They're putting out highlights on all the seniors all week, and you can learn a bit about them. But they've done a lot for the school. Some of them have been here since, the whole time, and they were a part of the team that got us back to the postseason for the first time in over 20 years. So they've been a part of kind of building this program back from really nothing, to be honest. So we're not known for volleyball here, and they got us back for the postseason. So it's been a tough year, but they deserve the recognition. And they're very capable. We've seen that they upset Kansas. Like, they're right there. They're right there. So if they can get a good packed house for them, maybe give them a little bit of energy boost in those times where they're second guessing themselves, and get some Raider powers going, and get the juice flowing for them, and help them upset Baylor. Let's do it. Like, I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this, grab some friends, grab some foes, exes, all the things we always say on here. Drag 5 people with you. If everybody brings 5 people, it'll be packed in there, and start chanting. You don't need to know anything about volleyball. Just make noise. That's what they told us in the interviews with them. Just make noise. You know what I mean? Like, celebrate when we get kills. There's people there that always do the things. You can catch on to the chants and stuff. So that's right. Raider powers are always welcome at any sport.
Yeah, and you missed out on a cool koozie.
They have great promotions at volleyball as well.
Great promotions. Use this koozie every day. Not every day, but like
I'm still waiting on my October Red Raider care package.
Oh my gosh, y'all! I've been collecting little things like this.
I'm still waiting on that scarf. I could have used it the other day.
I know. I got scarves. I got all sorts of stuff.
At this point, just don't send it. I'll get it when I'm there.
Damn it. I'm sorry. I'm worse. Because I'm like, what else happens, you know? Like, yeah. Anyway. So volleyball, Baylor at home Saturday. That'll be a huge game for us to show up. And then we'll have another home series, against West Virginia.
I think it's during the week, so they're doing senior day on the weekend. It's not the last home game, but it is senior day.
That's a good point. So again, we'll have that 2-match series with West Virginia, November 9th and 10th. And I'm excited. And their social media, they also, every team that I've seen
with they Halloween costumes.
Halloween costumes, pregame fits. I'm here for it. It's really cool to see a different side of the team. So go follow them on social media for sure. So let's move on to basketball so we can hear.
Speaking of Halloween costumes, we'll start with that.
That is.
If you have not seen they can't do TikTok, but TikTok themed video that they made for the Lady Raider team. It is absolute gold.
It's so
absolute
funny.
gold.
It's
if
so
that doesn't
good.
get you to sign up for this team and be like, I'm in, that's my team. I'm going to support that
That's my team every time.
I don't know what will, because the personality shined through. I don't even understand most of the costumes they were wearing. Above my head, I don't know what they were, to be honest, but they look great. Please explain.
Willy Wonka?
I didn't see. Was that what Riley McKinney was? I've never watched Willy Wonka.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Breaking news, everyone. We have I feel like my heart has stopped beating.
I didn't watch a lot of TV or movies in the high school to college frame. I was sportsing, and I didn't have time.
I'm mostly concerned because of someone who's never seen that movie. Like, what did you think that they were?
I have no idea. I didn't even know what to guess. I was like, that's cool. I thought it was like a scary movie or something. I don't know. What are they supposed to be?
I can't. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. You go watch it your damn self. Shelby, that's your homework.
Okay.
I am. That is so funny. Okay. Wow. Anyway, I don't mean to poke fun, but that is.
No, it's fair.
I'm mostly concerned of like, wow, that's a really
pop culture abstract things. I'm very not in the loop on most things, so funny. I'm used to being made fun of there. It's fine. I'm here for it.
Honestly, that's a great indicator of how well they did their costumes. Y'all go check it out. I saw volleyball too. They had a good one. Like Bryn has like little construction cones that are, what you see on the basketball court. They're like 3 inches tall, and she's like a construction worker, and I'm like, Bryn, you collected that on the way to the locker room. Like you're like, I am now a construction worker.
Oh, there's a construction vest and a hat.
Hey,
thank you. She just stole someone's
Give me this drill.
Some poor maintenance worker's like, does anyone know where my vest went?
Wow, I don't have my drill.
We're kidding, Bryn. You loved it.
No, it was cool to see all of that, and a lot of the highlights of like social media with the basketball teams. It's just like a nice reminder that basketball is here. So
yeah, it's literally a week away. So we're gonna have to actually figure out our live. If we're obviously not gonna do a live during basketball, so the live might be right after the game next week.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have a live recap.
Goodbye, sleep. Didn't really care about you anyway.
Well, the game will be over about the same time we're doing the live anyway. I bet it's a 7 o'clock. We'll look at the start. It's a 6 o'clock start, right? Yeah, so it'll be perfect.
Okay, well.
But anyway, so let's briefly recap the exhibition. They did lose the exhibition. They're going to listen, no excuses. They're going to tell you they should have won it. Yeah. But there were positives from it. And first I'll start. I've seen some people be like, who the heck is Northern Arizona? First of all, you're outing yourself as a basketball casual.
Correct.
They won 20 games last year. They made the WNIT and they returned a lot of their performers. We have like 4 or 5 returners. That's all we have. So we have a lot of players between transfers and freshmen learning a new system, a new culture. It's going to take time. We've said that multiple times on the show. We weren't lying, right? Like, it's going to take time. You got to be patient with this team, but the talent is there. So I'm done with hearing that ish. Yes, we should have beaten them, but it's not like it was a D3 team.
I don't know if I want people to know this, but I think it might be time that Shelby Spice is my favorite Spice girl. And what you're saying is so true. Like, I think I can't wait to hear more about what you have to say about the game. But
yeah, and it's hard to talk about the game too in depth because we weren't there. It wasn't streamed. So I'm not going to sit here and make grand assumptions based on a box score. Sure. You don't know what happened, right? What jumped out to me are a few things. Kyla Freeland, her.
Dude, what did she drop? Tell me the stats.
17 points.
Of course.
14 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, and wait for it, only 2 turnovers in a game where we had 20 turnovers, which was a problem. We know that's going to be an issue for this team because we're young. She only had 2. She's not handling the ball a lot, but still, she only had 2.
Dude, Kyla, I'm so happy.
And this was we knew she was going to take a step. I think Ashley Chevalier in her interview with us said leaps and bounds.
And even Bree talked about it.
Yeah, everyone's been saying she has the most potential on this team. Jordan Merritt, again, listen, we're not going to win a lot of games when Jordan Merritt is not on the floor. She didn't play in this game, and Kyla was like, okay, fine, I'll take the minutes. And she showed out. So imagine a game when Merritt, which everything I've heard, Merritt's fine. It's not a long-term thing. It's just she just missed the game for some injury stuff, but it's nothing long-term. So she's good. She'll be back for next week is what I
cool.
I don't know if that's for sure. That's what I believe I've read. So she didn't play in this game. Kyla stepped in that role. And if we can get Kyla playing in the 4 and doing that, not even just that, give me half of that a night from Kyla Freeland. When you have more Merritt maybe playing the 5. I know she probably didn't want to, but in our system, the numbers don't matter. She's the 5, but she's basically a guard out there too. Like that is so important.
Oh
so
my!
That's what you need to take
imagine?
away from this game is like, holy goodness, Kyla Freeland can do this. And again, the competition's going to get better, and we're not going to miss. The rebounds are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to miss as many shots, but someone had to go get those rebounds, and she was going to get them, and she was putting it back up. I think she was 8 for 9 from the free throw line, which is super impressive. That tells me her stroke's getting better. Like that's what we've said about Kyla. She can become any sort of mid-range to outside threat shooting the ball, in addition to how she can hoop, like jump, get the ball, her athleticism. She's the best athlete on the floor. Most games we're going to play either team. It was great. I wish I could have watched that in person to know, but I talked to some people. I was like, okay, was she just getting easy rebounds because we were missing so many shots? They're like, she was getting some rebounds because we were missing shots, but she was getting the rebounds. Like she was going to get them.
Yeah.
And then she was out jumping people and really hustling and really kind of the hardest worker on the floor is what I heard from people in attendance.
I'm so excited for this version of Kyla Freeland. Like it already sounds like such a huge improvement from last year in the way that we knew how amazing she has always been with this team, but knowing that she has that with it is an exhibition game, how much value we take from it, numbers are numbers. That is so impressive, and we know because we've seen her. She is all these stats make sense knowing how athletic she is and how powerful she is in so many different ways of the game, and I'm here for it. And talking about like resurgence and coming back, I know you have notes here about Jasmine Shavers, who we've had an interview with, so make sure y'all go and listen to that. That's a really good one. But yeah, what did you gather from her?
It was a tough first half for our guards in general, and she was one of those. I think she was 0 for 7 or 1 for 7 in the first half, had 2 points going into halftime. Okay. She came out in the third quarter, scored 8. I ended up with 11 total in the second half. And that you love that. She was able to bounce back mid-game, right?
Yes.
To be like, not playing my best, got to turn it on. And she was able to do that. So good to see from her for sure. And speaking of that third quarter, we won the game. And this is not me being like biased. We won the game after the first quarter. We were down 10 at the end of the first quarter. If you take the first quarter out of it, we would have won by 3 or 4. Plus we were like plus 3 or 4 the rest of the game. Specifically, the third quarter, we outscored them 21-13. We came out of half, and and when you look at the minutes, it seems. And I asked some people if we were pressing. We were. So we talked like we're going to press, we're going to play fast, we're going to do all these things. Just because of the injuries and who was available to play big minutes in this game. There's also Jada and Alina who aren't quite up to full speed yet. Couldn't play a large amount of minutes in this game. We couldn't quite do that the whole game yet, right? But from everything I heard, we did that. We came out doing that in the third quarter. Like Ashley got a lot of minutes. Logan had the most minutes. She had all game in the third quarter. You had Shavers out there for 8 minutes. I think Kyla obviously out there. We were apparently running, pressing, all that. So if you want to be like, okay, not the result we want, but let's look at the part of the game where we played the type of basketball that we want to play this year, that we think is our best chance to win this year. Is pressing people, full court pressing people, playing fast, and doing what we do, right? When we were able to do that personnel-wise, we beat the team 21-13 in that quarter. And Northern Arizona is not a good matchup for us for wanting to run because they love to run. And so we couldn't, that's probably why we didn't press a lot all game, because we were like, we don't really want to open that up for them because that's what they want you to do. And then in the third quarter, we kind of had to, and it worked. So I'm taking away the positives in that sense. Yeah. And you can say that you're being a homer or whatever, but this is an exhibition game. And so there's things in this box score where I'm like, yeah, we should have won. No, like, I'm not trying to say we should celebrate it or anything, but there's things where I'm like, okay, that was good. That gives me hope. There's like things like, okay, I see it, you know? We obviously have to get healthy.
Yeah.
Like, if we keep having injuries, that's going to just derail the season. That's obvious. But if we can get these people healthy and up to full speed, they can still be a good team for sure.
Yeah, and you're able to you have the limited resources that you have, and you have the ability to like make those connections to kind of show a different layer of the story or what could be possible. And yeah, I sat there, and it's like, it's kind of a feeling of football, right? Like we have a lot of anticipation and a lot of hopes and dreams for these teams, and this pressure really of what we expect from our women's basketball team, for what we expect from our football team. Like those pressures are felt, and I'm so supportive of this team based off of like what we've talked about with them in our tons of our interviews. That's like when we first started seeing Scarlet, y'all. Like we were interviewing basketball players and hoopers, and Bree Scott has been an important part of our journey. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing this team kind of in this new light of knowing their stories and understanding like the different dynamics. And yeah, to be patient with them, and they're going to show up. They're going to show up in a lot of ways too, like dropping that really great reel of Willy Wonka and Rooster Saga, and was it Jazzy? Yeah, Jazzy.
All was in that video. Yeah, it was great.
So funny.
But yeah, there's plenty of good things to take from that. We're big fans of Jada Wynn. I thought she didn't get to play very many minutes because again, she's just barely started practicing. But like when you look at the box score, she did what you thought she'd do. She's like got like 3 or 4 rebounds, a couple assists. She got some points. She's all peppered the box score everywhere. We didn't have a lot of players that were in the positive on the plus or minus, meaning like the amount of points that were scored during the time they're in the game. She was one of the few. There's like 2 or I think Kyla, Shavers, and Jada were like the 3 that had a positive plus or minus. And she did it in 18 minutes. And so that shows you the potential there. I think when she can play a little bit more, that'll help stabilize things at that position, and she can play 1 through 4 again. So Alina, again, didn't play very many minutes either. She's another one of those players that's only been practicing full go, I think, for about a week. So like that's when we say we're patient. And then I know someone just messed on Twitter. Yeah. Bailey didn't have a great game, but it's Bailey freaking mopping. She's going to be fine. Like it just is what it is. I think first game jitters. I kind of relate to kind of maybe what she was doing there, but I wasn't there in person. So I don't know what was going on. I don't know if she was getting hacked and fouled. I don't know if she was taking bad shots. I don't know, but it's Bailey mopping. So I'm not super concerned that is going to be a repeat performance. She to me seems like the player that's going to print that flipping box score out, tape it up in her locker, and look at it before every game.
100%. We know
that's going to dismotivate her.
We know exactly the capability of Bailey Maupin, and kind of what I was talking about of like the pressures of like we've been hyping her up because she's so easy to hype up. The resume, we have that resume to hype her up, and there's like you said, there's a million different ways that this could have gone. It's just we are always looking for the best interest of these athletes, and it's tough to see Bailey like having a really tough game and not seeing it's abnormal to see that score from Bailey or lack thereof. That line from Bailey Maupin, like to me that's like a yikes, like what's happening, red flag or kind of thing. But I knowing that she's gonna get right, and she has the leadership to do that. She has our coach Krista Gerlich. I'm sure she is able to lean on her teammates as well through this in the way of like that's not the Bailey Maupin that we're gonna see, y'all. And
I'm concerned, really.
It's on to the next. It's already in the past, in my opinion.
It's hard for me to know what was going on without seeing it, but I just can't. I know she's playing a different position. Also, give her credit. She's just playing off ball. I think they have her playing some point guard, especially without Jada in there, and that's tough to learn. But that's the best chance for this team to be really good is her, in addition to Ashley, obviously playing point guard. But I just, to me, it has to have been nerves. It has to have been a little bit of the pressure of being people talking about her and being the person. And I think that's all it is, and that's very overcomable. Like next week, that she's gonna cook.
Yeah. All right. But say less.
That'll do it.
That'll
so
do it.
Next week they're home. First game of the season, November 7th. They kick off the basketball in Lubbock. I think the guys play the next day. So they're the first game of the season. I believe it's at 6 o'clock in the USA UT Rio Grande Valley. Again, we do have a season ticket holder that has some tickets that can't come to every game this season. If you would like to go to this game, hit us up. We'll give you his tickets. This is one that he cannot make it to. He is from out of the area. And so that's one that we have him for. We'll probably post about that this week as well. But get there, support them, be loud, Raider power it, and watch them get the dub over UT Rio Grande Valley. Hopefully Merritt will be out there and we'll have the full team going and we'll do work. I'm excited to watch because we didn't get to watch them again. Like that's why it's hard to pull much from a box score. Like I'm not going to look into it too much.
So tough. Yeah, you're right. And they weren't the only ones. The men's basketball team having a interesting exhibition match. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. But they had what I've heard. I'm not too sure. So you're gonna have to inform me. The Texas A&M Aggies. They were ranked like
number 15 preseason ranking.
Okay. So a pretty big deal for a new coach with Grant McCaslin from with Texas Tech and a pretty competitive Texas A&M team, or has been. But walking out with the dub, like, what did you take from that? Like, can we be excited?
I mean, again, like I'm like hesitant to take too much from an exhibition, whether you win or you lose, to be honest. But it's never a bad thing to beat the number 15 team. I have no idea I have no idea if A&M was missing players or if they weren't playing their starters. Like I don't know. I don't know what their minute distribution was. But it doesn't matter. We went out there and got the win. And we scored 89 points against a top 15 team, which is, it's been a while since Texas Tech has been putting up those type of numbers. And it's interesting to me because a lot of the concern around Grant McCaslin from fans, if you pay attention to basketball circles, you knew this wouldn't necessarily be a problem, that he's good at adjusting and he'll play up tempo when he needs to, when he has the team to. But he has played some really slow tempo games and teams with UNT because that's the personnel he had. And so people are like, oh, is it going to be like 50 to 50 games again? Like, all this stuff. We come out and drop 89 and we're running and throwing alley-oops and doing all this stuff. It looked like from the videos I saw. So we'll see if that continues. Again, exhibition game, but I thought it was great. I thought the atmosphere, shout out Red Raider Nation. I almost went. I had just been traveling from Cincy to Dallas 3 days in a row in this game. And there was a few Texas Tech fans there that were trying to get me to show up. And I was beat. I was exhausted. Well, I took Sunday off and just chilled at home with my family, but I almost went. But the atmosphere was hype. It sounded like a flipping tournament game. Like I was super impressed. Red Raider Nation always shows out in DF Dub. And I think that helps the players. Like that helps them get it going. And Pop Isaacs, he's been our favorite last year.
Oh my God, dude. Good,
and he was absolutely a problem in this game in limited minutes because he was in foul trouble. He scored 30 points in 23 minutes.
What?
I heard the rumor he popped a three from the logo from like mid-court too. Deep threes.
Pop
was popping off.
We're going to have to find a lot more puns. It sounds like for him. With numbers like that is nuts. 30 points in 23 minutes. Pop Isaacs, I mean, we know he's talented. He's stuck around with this program, going through some coaches changes, if y'all weren't familiar with the basketball team before this. So that, I mean, I'm here for it. Obviously, it's like, that is nutso potato though.
We gotta get Saying Scarlet Nutso Potato shirt because that is Civi's catchphrase now, and I love it. Nutso Potato is right. And he had a quote after the game, which I loved, me, and
tell me
the mental side of the game. He says, I didn't have any expectations on what I wanted to do in this game. I just wanted to win. That's how you score 30 in a game, is you're not thinking about it. You just go out there and be like, what do I do to win? I need to take this 3. And by the end of the game, you look up and you have 30 points. Holy shit. Wow. That's what happened. Or you can't be going into a game wanting to score 30. You need to go into a game wanting to win. And when you're that talented, the points will come. And they did.
That is such a brilliant layer of that, is showing his drive. And honestly
leadership as a sophomore.
Yes,
too.
exactly. Like a more collective approach too. Of he knows it's not just on him. It's like I want to win. Like that's a team thing. So I love kind of shifting that narrative of he has to be the one that's putting up 30 points in 23 minutes, but instead, like, what can I do to win? What can I do to get this team the win? And him having such a contribution to that, and knowing how much talent and promise he showed us last season. It's so exciting.
He's so fun to watch.
It's so exciting.
Him and we always joke, like, we got Pop Isaacs and Bailey Maupin as freshmen. Now we get them as sophomores. Like, they're just both fun players, and the way they go about it, similar mentality. So I'm excited to see them do their thing. Also, some others, Chance McMillan and Devin Cambridge, who are both two of the transfers, came in, had 17 and 14 respectively. Chance was dropping threes, and they're both really fun players, and it's good to see them get off on the right foot to start. And it just seems like this team's really gelling well. It's impressive, really.
Yes.
We talked about with the women's team, like, there's a lot of transfers and they haven't had a lot of time together. This team, thankfully, has been healthy in the preseason, so they've been able to practice together since they arrived in May or whatever. And that is so huge. And they've done the work. They've gone on these retreats, and they you can even see in their video, their Halloween video, they asked all the players who Grant should be for Halloween, and they basically roasted this guy. I think like Smurf was like the popular answer, and that to me shows a lot of like love between the players and the coach, that they feel safe enough to be like, I'm gonna roast my coach right now with this answer.
You're safe enough to roast it. Honestly, that's a huge component of it. And I think Grant, like, showing that same humor back to in that, little segment, it shows that he's showing up in a lot of different ways. And I love that we're able to see that component of the team, behind the scenes, if you will, and with those clips and all that good stuff. And then also seeing them come from a win. It's all good. It's really cool to see. And yeah, I like what's next for them.
They play, I don't know who they play, to be honest, but they believe they start on Wednesday next week is their first game at home in the USA. So go to back-to-back days of basketball. Y'all been waiting for basketball. Can't wait for basketball. It's here. You can go on Tuesday to see the Lady Raiders. You can go on Wednesday to see the men's basketball team get it done.
Are you sure it just wasn't you talking to a mirror?
It's definitely me.
It's basketball. You're ready for basketball.
It's me. But everybody on Twitter has been like, "Oh, ready for basketball season."
It is so exciting.
So
I know.
Honestly, I've been like vibing because soccer has been
vibing.
Like, that's when soccer is doing well, because I'm like, let's go soccer. Basketball, we still got a week to go. We got soccer tomorrow. It's cool.
Shelby is vibing. Yeah. So I think the last sport that we have to talk about is football. Having a bye week. Yeah. And they're kicking it off early. Thursday game. So a couple of days from now.
You're a teacher at Tech. They're shutting down campus, right?
They sure are. Any classes?
They didn't do that when I was in school. We had to
back when I was there, we used to eat. Yeah, we had to eat dirt.
The hill and the dust storms both ways.
We had to walk and stuff. Anyway, the campus is crazy. The students are ready for this.
Mike Jones, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it Mike Jones for real?
Who? He's the pregame concert.
Shelby, do it. Who?
Mike Jones? I don't know.
Yes, dude. Come on. Yeah, you did it. You are a pop culture gal.
I didn't know that until this week when everyone was doing it, so I caught up on it. I try.
That's great.
I try to stay up with you kids. But yes, that's cool. Get there. I think Joey said wear your costumes.
What?
If anyone would like to borrow this, if you pay overnight shipping, I will send it to you.
Wow,
it's
draft.
Very toasty. It's cool.
It's used.
It's used. I'll wash it first. But yeah, be there, wear your costumes, be loud. They're playing TCU, who was just in the national championship game last year. They're having a down season as well, so they're going to be coming in hungry. You need to win this game, and I think that we can. It's at home. Baron Morton has been practicing for the first time since he's been the starter. There was rumors that he was at least throwing 50% of the time. Turns out he has not been throwing in practice since he injured that shoulder against West Virginia.
Oof.
The first game he played. So he has not really, that's wild to me. That's a wild stat. So now that he has been able to practice for a week, that timing should be there. I expect to get some deep balls going. Barron's always been good at that pre-injury. It should be more fun to watch. Our defense has been great. I think that's all stat. We're only allowing like 8 or 9 or 10. I don't know. So a low amount of points in the second half of games this year.
Cool.
Like we might give up some points in the first half, but we make
up for it.
We're kind of an experienced team back there on defense, so we're able to. Well, we used to be until the injuries. There's some freshmen out there now, but the seniors that are still around there, like Rabbit, and all of them can adjust to halftime and lock in. So, yeah, go out there. Thursday games. I hope it's still packed. I know it's usually you got to really rely on the students and then locals for a Thursday game. Not a lot of people can come in for a Thursday.
That's true.
Game. So, everybody in Lubbock, this is the time to do what you do and show up.
Show up. Do it. They're frogs.
They're lizards, but yeah.
Okay, settled debate.
No such thing as a horned frog. It's a flippin' lizard.
Okay, well, nobody's bitter about it on this show, but anything.
Giraffes. They're closer to a giraffe than a frog.
Okay, we're entering places I don't.
Oh, the Rangers just allowed a run, but who cares? Because it's 11-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
All right. On that note, everybody, thanks for hanging around. Shelby, any other
final thoughts? Austinites, again, get your butt to Mike Myers Stadium tomorrow. Be there. Make it a home game for the Red Raiders, even though the weather is allowing UT to have a home game unfairly. Keep the players safe. I'm all here for it. If that's what I think is best, do it. But it's now a home game, so let's go out there and get some Raider powers going, even at 4:30. Leave work early. Get there. We can't leave work early, at least get there for the second half when they need you the most. And let's get it done. It'll be a tough game, y'all. It's going to be a tough matchup on one day's rest. For a team that likes to play defense, that's a lot of energy expended the way we play. So I'm just excited to watch them take on that challenge and do what they do. So then, and then, get all your tickets for all the other sporting events coming up. Be there at volleyball Saturday, football Thursday. The list goes on.
That's right.
We'll see you next
time.
We'll know a lot next week. Postseason.
We'll know a lot. I was like, I think I have things to add, but I don't because you said it so well. And you
happy Halloween, y'all.
Happy Halloween.
Put your, mask on for the end one more time.
Yeah,
scare the children. No. Everyone, take your kids away.
All right. What even is this?
I don't. Is that Mike Myers? Ironically,
no. I think it's
Mike Myers at the stadiums. Named after?
Maybe I will. Anyway, wreck 'em, y'all.
Wreck 'em.